Believe it or not, the other day, I was in a very heated discussion and debate. And this is the kind of discussion and debate that you want to have heated discussions and debate about. Because, I mean, I guess to some it's comparable to apples and oranges or oranges and apples. But anyway, and of course, it's all about the title here in the video. The NRA versus the GOA. Of course, we know the NRA is the National Rifle Association versus the GOA, Gun Owners of America. And before I go on in this, let me tell you what's going on. We all know that the Super Bowl is getting ready to be played, right? And Daniel Defense, who makes some damn good firearms they do. They put an ad out to try to get an ad to run in the Super Bowl. And watch this. I keep telling y'all listen to me. I'm a veteran paratrooper, 82nd Airborne Division, 3rd Infantry Division, and Op 4 JRTC. Okay, that's good enough, all right? And I often marvel because when Daniel Defense put out an ad during the Super Bowl, or we wanted to run one during the Super Bowl, it was about a man, a Caucasian man. He's a veteran, and he was stating that one of his main priority in life is to protect his wife and his little baby. And then they talked about, Daniel Defense, all this other good stuff. And I would have to ring while I'm doing the video, don't it? But anyway, it showed a Daniel Defense, a gun, and American flag or something like that, right? And the Super Bowl, the NFL will not run the ad. On the flip side, Michael Bloomberg runs a $10 million ad against guns. And they approve of it. And it's going to be running during the Super Bowl. And so when we watch all this gun confiscation, we watch all this, and let me talk about this for a second. The owner of Daniel Defense, he came out in support against extensive background checks. Now, I'm not for background checks in any way, shape, fashion, or form. And of course, I know many of you already going to jump ship, get mad and upset, and wonder why I'm not for extensive background checks. That's because the history. And what do we say about that over and over again? Those who do not know history are destined to repeat the mistakes of the past. And the mistakes of the past is very damn costly. Over in Nazi Germany, they did it, what they call extensive background checks, and they used those extensive background checks to make a national registry, and then they went from door to door, guns blazing, and stripped the people of their guns. Now you see the reason why we're not in favor of it. So anyway, so they came out, Daniel Defense, the owner did, and he was in agreement with extensive background checks, and then he got political pressure for bear against the gun community, and then he recanted his statement. Because those of us who believe in freedom, we're not about to sit up there and give up our guns. Now, on the flip side, Gillespie and PSA, they got the different philosophy. They're more or less of my mindset. And that mindset is, you get as many as guns and firearms as you can in the hands of the people. As much as you can. All right, because this is the last country of freedom. Over in Australia, you know what they were doing in Australia? They was threatening people with prison time if they did not turn in their guns. And they got some horrific stories and accounts on here where people, the only thing they got is pictures of firearms. Now, there's only two people that have guns when you take away the guns from law-abiding citizens. See, law-abiding citizens are not the ones that are going out there committing all these heinous crimes. Law-abiding citizens are not going out here on these mass shootings and killing folks and every damn thing else. Law-abiding citizens don't do that. But they're the ones that are the most regulated, the most fingerprinted, the most surveillance, as if we are the criminals, law-abiding citizens. And of course, Pastor Dowell has the philosophy that whatever firearm or firepower the police, the sheriff's department, the FBI, the CIA, the DEA, the United States military, whatever firepower they have, I believe you should have. Anyway, But in Australia, all they have is a picture. And now they're not even free because there's only 2 people that have weapons when law-abiding citizens are stripped from them. The police and the criminals. Also, in the news, before I get started on my title here, the Bloods and the Crips are sick and tired of each other, killing each other, and constantly getting beat up and thrown in the prison industrial complex by the popo. So it looks like that they're, after all these years, come to their senses, and they're joining hand in hand in the fight against rogue cops. All right. So I had a heated discussion with someone who is for the NRA. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm GOA, Gun Owners of America. As a matter of fact, I am a lifetime membership owner. A lifetime membership contributor to Gun Owners of America. I'm going to tell you the reason why. Because it is the only gun lobbying organization out there with Larry Pratt and all them that they do not compromise at all, period. And as soon as a politician twists their lips and twists their face talking about guns, you ought to go on there and look at some of the debates that they got on YouTube. And Larry Pratt and all of them, man, they go on there and they hand people their ignorant rear ends concerning facts. Concerning facts, they do. And we don't never get to hear it. We don't never get to hear all the stories of people being able to protect others from criminals. But man, they got it laid out for you. Irrefutable facts. But what we was arguing about, and it started with the bump stock. The NRA sided with President Trump on the bump stock. And isn't it amazing to you that all of these politicians talk to be conservative and Republicans and all this other stuff, and then as soon as something happens, the first thing they do is they start going out to every little bitty small apparatus of guns. And you hear these pundits on there, you can tell they don't know what the hell they're talking about, especially when they're trying to talk about guns and make reference to guns. They don't know an assault, a rifle, or weapon, from a revolver to a semi-automatic, that they don't know nothing. Nothing. They just repeat and regurgitate and rehash what other people say. No facts. None whatsoever. All emotions, all feelings. Well, anyway, I told him, I said, the reason why I can't get with the NRA is because every time I turn around, they're compromising on something. Now, with the GOA, this is the type of organization we've got. If President Trump ever moves, and he's already done it, if he ever moves, talking about that we're going to do something in reference to restricting law-abiding citizens, constitutional rights, Second Amendment rights. We will not support him. GOA said that on Fox News, said it on CNN, and I'm with him. I'm with him 100%. You know why? Because they are the only no compromise gun lobby. That's the reason why I'm a lifetime member. Lifetime member. And I would recommend that some of you, now don't get me wrong, the NRA is there for a reason, but see, they're getting so big, they're getting too political, and now they're starting to compromise on a lot of things. And at the end of the conversation, and when I say heated, because we was going back and forth, tone getting a little bit loud. When I kept throwing all these facts towards him, he finally recanted and yielded. He said, you know what? You're telling the truth. And I think that as soon as I get back home, I'm going to go join the GOA, Gun Owners of America. Well, because every single time any politician sneezes, they there. Guess who was at the rally up there? Eric Pratt. Larry Pratt, Eric Pratt and them. Guess who's at the rally up there in Virginia dropping facts? Yep, at the rally. Oh, guess what? There was a bunch of guns up there in that rally. And guess what? Nothing happened. You know why? Full of law-abiding citizens. Now go get some of these other uncouth people up there and go to these rallies and stuff. Go to these races, rallies and stuff, and what happens? They run over people with cars. They kill people. It's amazing. You can use a car. You can use a knife. You can use a letter opener. You can use anything in the world. A hammer, a bus, a truck, anything in the world to kill someone. And people do it all the time. All the time they do it. But we got to get the guns. You know why? Because the gun is the one that reaches out and touches it. And one guy said, he was Michael, don't you believe any politician that tells you that we're not after the guns. We just want extensive background checks and we want the guns in the right hands of the right people. BS. No, they don't. Anytime they even sneeze, even say anything about guns, they want them out of your hands. You know why? Because they want us to be like the rest of these communist countries. You know, I traveled the world, literally. I have been to a lot of places in the world, and it don't fare well unless you want to become a bunch of mindless minions where the government topples over you and rules over you with vigor, where you fear the police when you see them. You start cringing. That's how they do in other countries. And when I'm in other countries, the police, they look at me and they don't know how to act because they can tell there's a different vibe coming from here. And I'm a law-abiding citizen. Even up here in my own township, I get crazy looking looks. And I'm telling you right now, we train all of the time. All of the time. We stay ready all of the time. Because you don't get to pick the day, the time, or the hour when evil come your way. Many of you better start getting your heads out of your 4 point of contact. That's what you better start doing. And you better start becoming very proactive and stop all this passivity. Stop with all this negativity. Every time somebody is full of psychotropic drugs, on opioids, doing all this evil and stuff, then they decide they're going to go out and have a make my day moment. I'm telling y'all better get educated. You better educate yourself to the facts. Then you'll start seeing what's really, truly going on. We ain't going to never hear the end of this gun thing. And I'm telling all veterans and all brothers in the military, sisters in the military, you got to ask yourself a question. Because that governor up there in Virginia talking about he going to call out the National Guard. I wish I was in the National Guard up there in Virginia. And they said we're deployed. And because we're going to go out and we're going to actually guard our nation or guard our state against all these people protesting. You know what I'd have done? I'd have took my rank off. I'd took my hat off and tell you to go to a living, burning hell. That's what I'd have done. Because there's no way I'm going to fight against law-abiding citizens in this country. There's no way that I'm going to stand against the Constitution. I swore my oath to the Constitution of the United States of America and not to your wicked ass. And notice all these people that are so-called against guns, all of them got guns around them all over the place. All their bodyguards and all their security surrounded with guns. We want them in the hands of a professional. I guarantee you one thing, I'm more of a professional than your bodyguards are. I promise you that. Even now, I can still shoot smiley faces. Even now. These people are playing on your emotions and feelings, and you better get a hold of them. Get as many guns as you can, and don't forget the bullets. If you have guns, get 20 times the amount in bullets. Gun owners of America. That's what Pastor Dowell recommends. And no, I'm not getting any kickback. I'm not being sponsored by them at all. I would love to be a poster child for gun owners of America. I mean, after all, the NRA got Ted Nugent. And Ted Nugent, he puts veterans, law enforcement officers, he puts guitar players right up there with them concerning people who actually work really hard and put their lives on the line. Guitar player. I got one right here. We need guns. Because the way I read the Constitution of the United States of America, it clearly states in there and says, against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That means including people over the seas, over the borders, including tyrants. Tyrants, just like we call the King of England. Tyrants. And we went and had a revolutionary war in this country to fight against a tyrant. Across the seas and wanted to come over here. Tyrants. Revolution. People hate talk like this. You know what? They have done everything in the world to try to put a gag order on us to make sure that we don't speak. While they continue to keep bumping their gums and flapping their lips. You better get to training, because it ain't no good in having no guns when you can't shoot. And you don't know your weapon. You better get to training. And remember, as the old saying goes in the military, if it ain't raining, it ain't training. Just because it's raining, don't let that deter you from training.